Let's see. I want everyone to drop it in the chat box. And today's we will go a bit fast. So when I'm going, if you have any doubts, you can ask, okay? Don't keep doubts to yourself because you know you have only few days left. And when you calculate, they'll say 82 days. But if you cut off the sleeping time, eating time, I think it would be like 60 days, isn't it? Just few days left. Feeling the exam pressure? Or no? Chilling? Medium. How about others? How is it? Okay. So somewhat it is at a medium level for you guys. How about subnetting? Hopefully the day 4, then this is day 3 of the free paper series. So hopefully the day 4, I don't know when I'll be able to conduct it. Maybe next week I'll see. That would be on subnetting only. So I would be taking subnetting questions, even essay questions. But before that, I'll be doing explanation on the theory a bit, on subnetting theory. After that, I'll move on to the subnetting questions and do it, since many said they didn't know how to do it. As well as many said they need paper practice on Python. So I was thinking, after the subnetting, shall I move on to Python directly or shall I do Unit 8? Unit 7, I think no one needs, right? Paper practice, paper discussion. So just let me know that. Shall I skip Unit 8? Python, I would be doing papers a bit explanation as well. I'll be doing MCQs. So what should we do? Shall we skip Unit 8 and move on to Python, or else shall we do Unit 8 discussions also? Okay. So shall we begin with Unit 6? Have you guys take a printout of the PDF, the questions? If so, that would be worth it. You can, next to the MCQs, I thought even in the operating system MCQs, how do you do the elimination trick? First, when you get the right answer, check on other options. Why is it wrong? Next to it, write why is it wrong? The reason of why that option isn't the answer. Because now the wrong answers, the wrong options, from the next year they could test the same question in the opposite way. The answer could be the question and the question could be in the options likewise. So do that when I'm saying to do that now, not in the final paper. Okay, when you're doing papers for MCQs, do that. Always when you're eliminating the wrong answers, next to it write why is that wrong. That is one thing that will help you gain more knowledge and not forget the theories. So networking has a lot of theory, right? I think more than comparatively with other lessons, this lesson has a lot of theories, isn't it? Whereas other lessons, they are long, but if they don't, those are like more practicals, like Python, DBMS, the SQL commands and all. Those are easy, even though those are huge chapters. But networking is a bit tough because it has a lot of theory, right? So I would say even Python is easy since it is like practical, right? That's why. And don't worry, this will be going on until your exams. Even for the 27 batch, I would be I won't stop this free paper series. It will be going on like that. But the main focus now is for the 2026 since they have like few months only left, few like 2.5 months, right? But the other batches also can join in. It would be worth it definitely. So networking, it has a high weightage in your final paper, right? Yes or no? How many MCQs would they test usually in the final paper? Let's see. Let's see if you guys have checked on the paper. Let me know in the chat box. How many MCQs would they test usually on this chapter? No, more than 4. Usually it would be like, let's look on the paper. Let's see the last 5 years whether it has been increased or decreased. So just one thing, focus on this chapter, theory more. This is one of the easiest chapter where you can score well. So for the theories, if you're having difficulties to study that, have your short notes with you. For this chapter, short notes is the best way to study, right? So don't miss this chance to, gain that marks, easily score. In essay part, is there anyone who is willing, who have planned? I know some of you guys have already planned, like what lessons are they going to choose and all. Even though targeting and doing is a bit risky now, because we can't predict how your paper structure would be, right? Is there anyone who have planned to choose this in the essay? If subnetting is easy, then definitely it will be worth if you do it if you choose this question in the essay part as well. Yes, one has raised. So I would say definitely choose this, but keep a backup question, sorry, a chapter as well. So see, in the 2021, they have tested around 8, I think. Right. Yes, 8, 2022. That also 8 MCQs. 8. So see, more than you guys. The maximum you guys said was 6. Let's see. Only in 2024 they have tested 5. Apart from that, the other years previous years they have tested 8 times. Right? Last year it wasn't. I can't remember that. I didn't include the 2025 paper as I mentioned on the first day. 2025 paper I will be discussing as a whole paper at the very end of this program on July, right? Okay, so first I'll be discussing the past papers. After that, I will be discussing the what? What question did I say I'll discuss next? The Mora papers, right? And as I mentioned, I think you all already know what is that. Okay, let's not waste time. And from the next session, I don't want, I will start the class even if students are joining late. Because it won't be fair enough for others, right? If I delay it, so it would be not fair. All right. So what is the first question? So this is 2021 and it is about the basics. What is the basic? Digital versus analog signals, right? So the first question is about which of the following is or are correct with respect to a digital signal. Let's see. It is denoted by a square wave. It is correct, right? We know that digital signals, they are in square wave. What about analog? They are, what about analog then? What wave? So the digital signals, they are what fixed? They have two fixed voltage levels, high and low. So when you plot that on a graph over time, these sudden transitions create sharp vertical and horizontal lines that form a square wave. So it goes vertically and horizontally. Since it has two values, what are those? High and low. So that's why it is a square wave. And then digital signal. So contains a continuous range of values. No, it's incorrect, right? This is about analog signals. Since digital signals are binary and can have only specific separate values, analog signals are the one that contain an infinite continuous range of values. Right? And it uses discrete values to represent information. This is correct. So digital system look at information in separate chunks, right? Typically represent as binary digits. What digits? 0 and 1. So I think I don't have to, go in-depth explanation for this. This is the basics, right? If there's anything, you guys can let me know. This I'll be focusing on the most important topics. Okay. And then you know that there are two types of data transmission media, which is guided and unguided media, right? And they are saying which of the following are correct with respect to guided media. Okay, a physical path is used for data transmission. It is through. In data communication, guided means the signal is physically contained and directed. So it requires a physical pathway like what? Like fiber optic, coaxial or twisted pair copper wires to travel from sender to receiver, right? Whereas unguided is wireless. Signal is broadcast through air. We know that is unguided media. So sending signals through the air or open space is called unguided media, which is known as wireless media, because the signal is free to travel in many directions without a physical boundary. And then example, radio waves. This is also incorrect because radio waves travel how? Wirelessly through open air without physical cables. So this is unguided media, and the answer is A only. Clear, right? So I'll be explain like this. If there's anything you can ask me. I I hope I'm not going too fast. Is that so? No, right? The space is good. Want me to slow down? Let me know that. Okay. The next you're asking which of the following could be used to digitally represent analog signals. What is this answer? So they're saying analog to digital representation. Let's see. Attenuation. What means that? Would you be completing whole? Yes, whole 45 questions. That's why I said you have to stay till the end. I dropped a message in the group already. We can go it fast, don't worry. At the first 20, it may go a bit slow, but after that, when you catch on the theories, it will be going faster. Right. 4. Yeah, okay. Yes, correct. Answer is 4. So what is attenuation? It means a signal is losing its strength over what? Why is it losing its strength? Over a distance, right? So that is wrong. And then decoding it, what is it? It is the reverse process, means digital back to analog form or digital back to understandable form, right? Distortion means an unwanted alternation or damage to the original shape of a wave. So yes, the answer is pulse code modulation. What is pulse code modulation? This is the process used to change an analog wave, example like a human voice on a phone, into digital data stream, zeros and ones. So you know there are 3 steps of that, which is what? Sampling, quantization, encoding. Quantization, sorry. Okay. So what is sampling? You're measuring the voltage of the analog wave at exact time intervals, right? And then step 2 is you're rounding those measured values to the nearest fixed numerical level. And the third is encoding, means you're converting those numerical levels into binary code, right? Measuring the voltage of the analog waves, and then you're rounding those measured values to the nearest fixed numerical level, and then converting those levels into binary code. So these are the 3 steps of what? Pulse code modulation. And then option 5, synchronization. That means it is just matching the timing clocks between a sender and a receiver. I hope all those were clear. What is distortion and all? Distortion and all. Okay. Now, when devices send and receive data over a network, a protocol is used uniquely. So they are saying a protocol, and it is used uniquely to identify the sender interface and correct delivery of the data to the Receiver's interface. What is the protocol that the writer in above sentence is referring to? Let's see. I want you guys to answer this. Try it out quick. So see, when I got a scenario like this, what am I doing? I underline the keywords, right? I underline the keywords. So likewise, do it. Okay, great. Yes. So I got the answers. So FTP and HTTP, what are those? Application layer protocols for file transfer and web browsing. So what are the keywords in this? The ones I underline. See, uniquely identify the sender interface and delivery of data to the receiver's interface. So you know every NIC means every network interface card on a local network has a unique hardware address assigned during manufacturing, right? Every NIC on a local network has a unique hardware address. This hardware address is called as what? MAC address, the media access control address. So in which layer does this operate? It operates at the data link layer, layer 2 of the OSI model, right? To ensure what? It ensures data packets are delivered to the correct physical device interface on the local network. So see, first underline the keywords and then check on the options. That way you'll be saving time instead of going back again to the question and reading it again. Yes, MAC is a protocol. So MAC, it is a it is technically a sublayer, but it relies on MAC protocols. So in computer networking, MAC media access control represents a specialized sublayer of what the data link layer in the OSI model. This sublayer it implements specific MAC protocols like CSMA, you know, and CSMA collision, those protocols. So it's the exact set of rules used to manage communication, timing, and channel sharing. So there's a bit theory part on that. We can go on to that now. Right. Okay, and FTP and HTTP, those are application layer protocols, and you know it is for file transfer and web browsing. So that doesn't match the scenario, right? TCP and UDP, what layer protocols are these? TCP and UDP on the OSI model. Which layer protocol? In the transport layer protocols, right? So these are transport layer protocols that handle what? Data transmission rules between hosts, not the physical interface identification. So that was TCP and UDP. So answer is MAC. Remember it, every NIC on a local network has a unique hardware address which will be assigned during manufacturing. And this hardware address is called as the media access control address. Okay. So next they are given about TCP and UDP. Study those well. You know it is a highly tested topic. They would usually ask the characteristics, the differences and all. So yeah, focus on that. Okay, so let's see. They are given about TCP and UDP as well, right? Best suited for applications that need high reliability where the transmission time is less critical. So which is high reliable? The TCP protocol, right? Because it focuses on accuracy over speed. Faster and requires fewer resources. So this one describes UDP. Why? Because it has no connection overhead. So that's why UDP is fast and TCP is high reliable. And then guarantees that no packets are missing. Again, this is TCP, which uses what? It uses acknowledgement and retransmissions. I hope you know that what it means, right? And packets may not arrive in order. We know that this one is UDP because it does not number or reorder packets. Used for voice communications over internet. This is also UDP because real-time speed matters more than recovering lost packets. Was that clear? And they are asking which of the above characteristics of UDP. So it is BDE. Let's see the options. Yes, we have BDE. Was that clear? Remember, TCP is high reliable. And when it comes about reordering packets, TCP only does that. And voice communication is also by UDP because real-time speed matters more than recovering lost packets. Clear, right? Okay. Which of the following is are examples for use of client-server model? Okay. A user printing a document using a printer connected to her computer. Is this an example for the use of client-server model? Who can get correct? Let's see. A user printing a document using a printer connected to her computer. This is wrong because a printer is plugged straight into a PC. Means the computer, right? It is connected to the computer. So it uses a direct hardware connection like a USB cable. It does not send requests over a network to a server machine. So this one, it lacks what a client-server relationship does, right? That is wrong. I hope that was clear. Right. And then B, a bank customer accessing online banking services with a web browser. This is correct. Why? So this is web banking. Your web browser is the client. So it sends an HTTPS request across the internet to the bank's remote database server, which verifies the credentials and sends back data. Right? So that is clear. If you want me to explain anything in depth, let me know that. Okay, and a cashier of a shop that accepts payment by credit cards. So this one, the shop terminal is a client, and it securely transmits credit card data across a network to a central payment gateway server to authorize funds. So the client-server model requires a network architecture where clients make requests and a centralized server processes and responds to those requests, right? So in statement a user printing a document using a printer connected to a computer. This one describes a local peripheral connection. Means what? Means it is using USB like that. And why this is not the answer? Because the computer sends data directly to its own hardware port. There is no network request being broadcasted to a separate server machine that manages queuing or network resources for multiple independent clients, right? So client server model, so there should be clients that make requests and a centralized server that processes and responds to those requests. Right. So the answer is B and C only. I hope that was clear. Okay, then we have the encryption part. So it is on character encoding, right? Okay, so sender A wants to send the message hello to the receiver B. Before sending the message, it is converted to IFMMP. Which of the following is correct with respect to the scenario? So hello is the plain text while IFMMP is the ciphertext. This is correct. So a plain text is the what? What is plain text? Is the unencrypted message, right? And ciphertext is what? The unreadable encrypted output. Got it? Plain text is the unencrypted message, whereas ciphertext is the unreadable encrypted output. Okay? So that is correct. IFMMP is the result of applying ASCII code to hello. This is wrong. So ASCII is a mapping standard. It turns letter H into the number 72, E into 69, 0 into 79, like that. Why this is not, sorry, why this option is wrong? Because applying ASCII to hello, what would be the output? If you apply ASCII to this word hello, it would be 72, 69, 76, 76, 79, not the text letters like IF, MM, P, right? That was clear. And then option C, +1 is the encryption key while -2 is the decryption key. This is true or false? Correct. +1 encryption is only happening over here. How? So see, after H, what is the letter? I. And they have used over here I. After E, it is F. After M, after L, it is M. Likewise, after O, it is P. So see, they are using a +1 encryption. Right? After H, they are adding 1, which is I. Got it? So the answer is A and C only. And to decode it back, what you must use? -1, right? So that's what that is known as decryption key. Clear, no? Okay, then we have about addressing. You want me to explain the +1 encryption? So how encrypting means, what is happening over here? You're adding 1 to the alphabet. If you shift each letter forward by exactly +1 in the alphabet, H +1 would be I. After H you have I, right? After E, what is the letter you have? F. So see, they are having the message is what? See the one in blue I'm marking. It is hello, right? And the converted one means the encrypted one is this IFMMP. So after H, when you add 1, what is the letter? After that, I, right? The alphabetical order. After E, you have F. And in hello, L, there is L, L, O. After L, what is the letter? You have the alphabetical order. +1, you have M, right? After O +1, it is P in the alphabetical order. Got it? Now, so that is you're encrypting it, right? Plus, you're using +1 encryption. Suppose you're using +2 encryption over here, then what would be? H will turn into J, right? H will turn into J after 2. Clear? Simply +1 encryption in the alphabetical order. After H, when you add 1, after H, what is there in the alphabetical order? You know alphabets, right? The order. Obviously, you have to go back to LKG. I. So see the question I, right? +1 encryption only they are using over here then. After E, what is it in the alphabetical order? F. If I am using +2, then H will turn into what? If I am encrypting using +2 encryption key, what will H turn into? H I J, right? So over here, see, this is the encrypted message. Hello. Sorry, I mean the plain text. IFMMB is the encrypted one. To decrypt it, you're minusing 1. So when you deduct from I -1, it will be go back to H. That is decryption. +1 decryption key. Clear? See? Now did you understand? So there's another question, I think in essay, but I don't remember. There's something +2, +3 encryption. Right. Okay, okay, good. Okay. Clear now? Okay. All right. So now they are asking about network IP addressing. So when there are multiple computers in an office, each computer can be given a private IP address. The router in the office gets a dash IP address router. And each of the computers connected to the router through guided or unguided media gets a private address from dash via the dash protocol, right? So in an office or home setup, the router acts as what? The gateway to the internet and right, the router acts as the gateway to the internet, right? And is assigned to a public IP address. By whom? Who provides it? The internet service provider. While the internal devices uses private IP address. Got it? In an office or home setup, the router acts as the gateway to the internet and is assigned as public IP address by whom? By the internet service provider. Whereas the internal devices uses private IP address. So first one, A should be public IP address. Okay, so when you do that, option 1 would be eliminated, option 2 eliminated, option 3. Now we have option 4 and 5. Let's see. So B, what are they saying in B? Connected to that router through unguided or guided media gets a private IP address from where? Via the dash protocol. So from where do you get the private IP address? From the, who provides the private IP? I mean the device that is responsible to assign those private IP addresses to the connected computers. The router. So router is the device that is responsible for managing the local network and assigning those private IP addresses to connected computers. Right? So in that option 4 also gets eliminated since they are given file server. C, option C, which protocol does it? The DHCP, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, does it. So what does this protocol do? It is the standard protocol used to automatically assign IP address to devices on a network. Was that clear? What does router does? It is the device responsible for managing the local network and assigning those private IP addresses to the connected computers. Which protocols helps in? The DHCP protocol. It used to automatically assign IP addresses to device on a network. Clear? Good, right? So this is also an important topic. The encryption also study well, and the UDP and TCP also is important. So we'll go a bit fast. Let's see if there's anything you can ask. Which of the following are transport layer protocols of the TCP/IP stack? Easy one. Transport layer protocols. So remember, protocols is also an important topic. Focus on that. So I'm saying you guys, pay attention to those. The TCP protocol, yes, it is in the transport layer. UDP also, yes. FTP is wrong. Then FTP in which layer is it? FTP, which layer is it in? If not in transport, then in which? I hope if you are having the printed tute, please, write next to it their explanations, anything. If not, you can, print the tute and later get the recording from me and note it down again, watch it again. So FTP is in the application layer. If you have that printed too, just write application layer, right? And internet protocol, then no, it is in which layer? Network layer, NP, okay? Sorry. So the answer is option number 1, A and B only. Right. But transport, I don't get, what do you mean? So in transport layer protocols, see what are the, in transport layer, what are the protocols? TCP and UDP. FTP is application, internet is, UDP is in transport layer. Those are transport layer protocols. So this OSI model, TCP/IP model is very, very important. Okay, study that. So the TCP/IP model, it organizes the network functions into layers, right? And in the question, they're asking about the transport layer only. What does the transport layer does? It manages end-to-end communication and data flow. So TCP, it is the core transport layer protocol. It provides reliable connection-oriented data delivery. UDP is also a core transport layer protocol. It provides fast, connectionless, and lightweight data delivery. Whereas FTP is used directly by software applications to transfer files. So it is in the application layer. But Internet protocol, IP Internet protocol, what does it do? It handles addressing and routing across different layers. So it is in the network layer or in the internet layer, you could say it as. Was that clear? IP, it is in network or internet layer. So you know that OSI TCP model. Right. Okay, then we have another important topic is MAC and IPv4 address. Got it. Okay, good. So they are asking the bit sizes and where they function at. Okay. MAC addresses are 32 bits in length are used in the network layer. What was said? Is MAC addressed in the network layer? No, right? What did I say earlier? In which layer does MAC address operates in? Can you remember? Let's see if you guys remember. I said in a previous question. MAC address, in which layer does it operates in? Answer, everyone. MAC, MAC, MAC. Application, advertising application layer. That is FTP, no? In the data link layer. Didn't I say data link layer? MAC is a sub layer of data link layer. So you know data link layers in two parts, sub MAC. Right? Okay, so let's see. First, MAC addresses are 32 bits in length. That is wrong. When it is used in a network layer, that is also wrong. Okay, so MAC address, they are in 48 bits in length and it is used in the data link layer. So option B is correct. So MAC addresses, which is known as physical addresses, are where is it in the network interface cards, and they are 48 bits long and operate at the data link layer to move data between devices on the same local network, right? So it moves data between devices on the same network. So remember, it is 48 bits and it operates in the data link layer. Remember the bits, okay? And IPv4 addresses are 32 bits in length and are operated in the used in the network layer. That is also correct, right? We have studied in subnetting also, we use 32 bits. So IPv4 addresses, which is known as the logical addresses, are 32 bits long and it operates at the network layer. What does it do? It routes data across different networks globally. So answer is option number 5, B and C. Clear? MAC is used in the data link layer and it is 48 bits. IPv4 address is 32 bits and it is used in the network layer. And what does it do in network layer? It routes data between different networks globally. Right? So what does MAC address does? Moves data between devices on the same local network. So I'm repeating it again and again for you guys to understand it. You will be providing recording, right? Yeah, if it is thundering, no problem. Just drop me a message later and get the recording, okay? I would suggest don't stay if it is thundering. Safety is important first. Okay. Which of the following is correct regarding a firewall? So what is a firewall? It is a network security system designed to prevent what? Unauthorized access while allowing safe communication. So A, it can monitor and filter outgoing network from an internal network. That is true. Outgoing traffic from an internet network. That is true. Because firewalls, they do not just block outside threats, they also inspect outbound traffic to stop malware from sending what data out or to prevent users from accessing restricted sites. Okay. So that is true. And option B, it protects a network from unauthorized accesses. That is correct. That's what I just said. So it is the fundamental purpose, the main purpose of firewall, right? Acts as a barrier between a trusted internal network and an untrusted external network. And C, it can be a hardware, a software, or a combination of both. Correct, because firewalls can take multiple forms. So in Windows, firewall is an example of software, while dedicated corporate routing securities applications are hardware. So many environments use a combination of both for more security. So yeah. Okay, so yes, we are into some nitty. An organization with the assigned IP address block, okay, needs to define 8 subnets. So they are asking 8 subnets, and each subnet should provide for more than 25 IP addresses. Which of the following correctly lists the number of bits used to identify the given given network? Number of bits needed to identify the given network, needed to identify the subnets, and number of bits needed to assign unique IP address. Can you guys guess the answer? Let's see. So when some went through this question, they were confused with the scenario. What are they asking, right? So the C.I.D.A. notation is 24, and how many subnets they are asking? 8. So host requirement means each subnet must provide more than 25 IP addresses. Now to create 8 bits, how many bits you need? Sorry, to create 8 subnets, how many bits do you need? The first question they are asking the number of, so that is the second one, right? The total number of bits used to identify the subnets. Okay, now we should get it in the power of 2's. So 8 in the power of 2, what is the answer? 2 to the power, they said 8 subnets they need. And we should write the bits that are needed for the subnet. 2 to the power 3, right? Isn't it? Isn't 2 to the power 3 equal to 8? Yes, right? So that is the second thing they have asked. So they said respectively, right? So in the second thing, they have asked the total number of bits needed to identify the subnets. First, they have asked which of the following correctly number of bits used to identify the given network. Now this one, how do you identify? How many original bits have they given? So they are given 24. The C.I.D.A. notation 24. 24 at the subnet bits. How many bits is the subnet? 3, right? Because 2 to the power 3 is equal to 8. You get the power of 2, which is 3. So 24 plus 3, the answer is 27. This is the total number of bits needed to identify the subnets, the prefix length, right? So 27 means how? 24 is the CIDA notation 24 plus 3, which is the subnet bits. You will get the answer is as 27. Okay, so that is the first one they have asked. Second, they have asked the number of bits to identify subnet. We found that first, that is 3. Okay, and the bits needed to assign unique IP address for this requirement. How do you find the remaining bits? So they are saying the remaining bits for host addresses they are asking in that question. How do you find it? 32 minus 27. 32 minus 27 is 5 bits, isn't it? Right? So the answer is 4. Now how do you check if 5 bits is correct? 2 to the power 5, how much is it? 32 addresses. In the question, they said they need for each subnet, see here, each subnet, the one I'm marking in blue, each subnet should provide for more than 25 IP addresses. Now 35 is 2 to the power 5 is 32 bits. If you subtract 2 for the network and broadcast address, how many will be remaining? Usable IPs 30. And the requirement, what did they ask? They need more than 25. So 30 you have has the usable IP address. Isn't it matching the requirement? Yes, right? So by that way, you know that this is correct. The answer is correct. 5 is correct. Clear? So total bits means you have to add 27 plus the subnet bits. Got it right? Okay, so next I have asked about the topologies. How did I take 5? 32 minus 27, the total bits. So you know in an IP address, IPv4 address, how many bits are there? 32. And the remaining bits we have to find out. So the remaining bits are used for host. So 32 minus the total, how many you get the total bits? 27, right? So 32 minus 27 is 5 bits. Got it? Now to check if that one matches with the requirement, what did I say? Take it to the power of 2. If you take it to the power of 2, you will get it as 32 address. And in the question, they say they need more than 25. So 32, you subtract 2, you will get 30. Yes. Why I subtracting 2? 1 for the network, 1 for the broadcast. So when you subtract 2, you will get 30 usable IPs. And which will satisfy the requirement of more than 25 IP addresses they are given. Clear, no? Okay, good. Am I going fast? No, right? This is good, no? This phase. Okay. So next they have given about the network topology. So that is also something they would test. They would ask the difference, like you should know the differences and all. So in bus topology, a central network hub is used to connect all nodes. This is wrong. What is there? Sorry, what is the main thing that connects all the nodes in a bus topology? It uses a single common cable, which is known as the backbone, to connect all nodes. So in So they are saying this a central hub. So in which topology is central hub used? In star topology. So the answer is wrong. Second option, in star topology, a linear cable is used to connect all nodes. So I just said a cable is used in the bus topology, not in star. In star only we use network. Sorry, net hub. Central hub. Okay. In ring topology, messages are sent only clockwise. Is this true? No, right? Not only clockwise. So while data flow often flows in one direction to prevent collision, it can be designed to flow clockwise or anti-clockwise. Okay. Then fourth option. In ring topology, each node is connected to only two of its neighbors. This is true, right? In a ring topology, every device has exactly two neighbors for communication purposes, and that forms a continuous circular pathway for signals. Okay, fifth one, let's see. In mesh topology, each node is always connected to one other node only. This is wrong, not only, right? In mesh topology, nodes are connected to multiple other nodes. Right? In a full mesh topology, every node is connected to every other node in the network. They are given here only. So that is wrong. Got it, right? So know the differences. Okay, then we have again they are testing the encryption and the OSI model part. So see, that's why I said to focus on those. Is it okay if we extend the class till 7? Let's go like 2. I started like at 5, no? We'll go until 2 hours 7. I hope if there are remaining questions, then in the next session I will cover that up. You want to complete? Oh, I have no issues completing, but if you guys feel overwhelmed, that's why. 3 hours could be exhausting for some, no? That's why. Okay. So more than operating system, networking takes too long to explain. Okay, so they are saying to match the OSI reference model to each of the layers. Okay. Application layer, what does it do? Wait. So OSI is what is the full form of OSI? Open System Interconnection. So it has 7 layers, right? And each layer has specific functions. Application layer, it is matching with the option user services that include file transfer. So earlier I mentioned that in an MCQ, file transfer FTP, it is an application layer. Why? So this layer directly interacts directly with software application. It provides network services directly to the end user, such as what did I say? FTP. Such as file transfers, which use FTP protocol. Web browsing, the protocol is HTTP, and email. Email, what is the protocol? SMTP, and there are some more, right? So this layer interacts directly with software application and provides network services to the end users. Remember that well. Remember the functions of each layers. Don't miss out anything. Okay. And then we have the physical layer. So physical layer is the lowest layer of the OSI model. What does it deal with? It deals with the mechanical and electrical specification of the transmission medium. So turning data into raw bits means zeros and ones for physical transmission. So it matches with what? Binary transmission over the communication media. Right? And then transport layer. So this layer is responsible for, what did I say? End-to-end communication. It delivers data specifically from a running process on a machine to a running process on another machine. So it does what? Process the process delivery using ports. You know there are ports number and all. So this one matches what? Data delivery from process to process. End network layer I explained already, that is route determination. So what does it do? It manages data routing across different networks. What does it determine? The best physical path for the data to take from the source to the destination. So simply it does the routing and IP addressing part. When you match all these, the option would be option number 4. Clear now? So see, study this well. And then again, we have on the encryption. So a digital signature ensures the authenticity of a message. This is true or false? True, no? Why? Because it uses cryptographic techniques. I hope you know what means that. To prove that a message genuinely originated from the sender has not been altered when being transmitted. Right? So that is true. In asymmetric key encryption, different keys are used for encryption and decryption. This is also true. I hope you saw the poster, the quick recap poster I sent in the group, right? The quick recap posters, in that I have clearly mentioned all this, isn't it? I hope you read that. So asymmetric is also known as public key encryption, right? So a public key used by anyone to encrypt the message. And a private key is what? It is kept by the owner to decrypt the data. So yes, it is true. It uses different keys for encryption and decryption. The encryption process transforms from plain text to ciphertext. This also I thought earlier what is plain text and ciphertext. Encryption takes readable data. Readable data means the plain text and uses a mathematical algorithm to turn it into an unreadable format. And what is an unreadable format? Known as the ciphertext. When why are they doing this? To keep it secure from unauthorized parties. So the answer is option A, B, and C. I didn't notice that I didn't keep space on these questions and just sent it. Okay, sorry for that. And then again, they have asked the protocols. So this, let's go. HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol, what does it do? I mentioned all these earlier, right? The MCQs. Used in the World Wide Web for fetching resources. And TCP, what does it do? It provides a very reliable data transfer via connection-oriented communication. So it matches with the option 2 since it is very reliable. And DNS, the domain name protocol, domain name system protocol. Remember this very well. It maps URLs to IP addresses, right? URLs to IP addresses. So it provides what? Directly lookup service for given web addresses and URLs. Internet protocol handles unique addressing of hosts across the internet. I'm not going to explain this again, since I already did. And UDP, again I said UDP is connectionless, whereas TCP is connected oriented. When you match this, you get the option 3. Right. So I'm going a bit fast since I already explained all those. And another part, this one is also there, and you need to the malware and all, in which you need to study this first. Trojan horse. At first we studied in unit 2 and then again in unit 6. Right? So a firewall acts as a packet filter inspecting all packets entering a network. I thought earlier it is true. Why? Because this is a primary function of a network network firewall, acting as a packet filter. A malware that misleads the user by disguising itself as a standard program is termed as Trojan horse. Yes, you know that Trojan horse appears like a trustworthy person to trick users into installing them, right? So yes. And a strong password should have a combination of uppercase, lowercase, numbers, symbols of sufficient length. That is also true. So when you're creating passwords, you might have seen they would say to add this, that, this. You can enter only 8 characters like that. You cannot use these. You can use that, right? So complexity and length are key factors for password strength, and the answer is all. Okay, which of the following statements are true? One of the uses of encryption is to ensure confidentiality. So this is 2023 paper, right? So see, again they are asking about encryption. This is true. Why encryption scrabbles data solely authorized parties can read it. To ensure confidentiality, we do this, right? That is true. Every user needs to have a pair of dissimilar, means different keys while using asymmetric. I thought earlier, right? It uses a public and a private key. And users must share a common key when exchanging information using symmetric. So asymmetric we use different and symmetric we use common. If you have that you, please mark that, underline it. If you don't have, if you have writing book, at least next to it you can put asymmetric, different keys, symmetric, common key. So both the sender and receiver use the same secret key, and answer is all A, B, and C. And then we have something called as the parity bit. Why do we use parity bit? To check for error detection, to check if the message has been altered or not. Now over here they are using even parity bits. So there are two types of parity bits, which is odd and even parity system, right? In an even parity system, the total numbers of ones in a byte must be an even number, right? So when you are counting the number of ones in a byte, it should have even number of ones. If you are counting the number of ones, and if it turns out as an odd number of ones, that means an error has occurred, right? So in the first one, so they are asking over here which of the following is considered as an error necessary, which is an error received byte. So in first one, when you count how many ones are there, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is correct. No, an error has not occurred. Since they are using over here even parity bit, no. If they are using odd parity bit, it would be other. That would be the answer. So in second option also there are 4 ones, so that is also correct. Third option also there are 1, 2, 3, 4 ones. Fourth option there are 1, 2, 3, 5 ones. So this is the answer, since they are asking which is the error received byte, and 5 ones means it's an odd number, and in an even parity, if you receive odd number of ones, that means that error has occurred, right? And when you count the fifth option, there are 6 ones, so that is correct. Clear now? Okay, so now they are asking to match with the description and the device. So network devices. Client. What does a client do? The client server model, I thought. So what is a client? It is a computer or a software that requests services and content from a central server. What did I say earlier? It requests services. That matches with 4. And hub, now people get confused with this hub and switch part. Hub and switch, yeah, hub and switch. So let's go with this description first. Stores network programs and data files for the user to access. Very easy. What stores the network programs? A server. A server is a high-powered computer that stores programs and data files for other users, means for clients to access. So that is D. Right? So when you see D1 in the option itself, there's only one thing. But I'll explain. A connecting device between LAN and WAN, wide area network. So which connects these topologies? Which device connects it? What is it? The router, isn't it? A router, what is the primary use of router? To connect different networks, such as linking a local area network to a wide area network. Remember this clearly. If you have a writing book or something next to you, or if you have this PDF printed, next to it write, it connects different networks, right? Next to router. So that's how you will remember it when you're referring the questions again. Right? And then next we have, when a message is received, is transmitted only onto the port to which destination devices. So they are saying only onto the port to which the destination computer is attached, not to all. So see, fifth one, it is saying when a message is received, it broadcasts it on all ports to all attached hosts. But in this one, they are saying only on the port to which the destination computer is attached. Whereas fifth one is saying it broadcasts to all. So what is this option? Description number 3. What does it matches? The hub for the switch. The switch. Why? So a switch transmits data only to the specific port. Right? And the fifth one is hub. So don't get confused between hub and a switch. So hub, when it receives data, it broadcasts to all ports regardless of the destination. Whereas switch, it only does to the, it transmits data only to the specific port where the destination computer is connected. So answer is option number 4. Was everything clear? Raise your hands. Let's see. Okay. So I know students left. There's lot of time clashes happening on. I can't do that. If I conduct night, they would be coming. I know it. But I'm unable to do that. It's okay. Okay, you can put your hands down. I hope everything was clear. Okay, so again, this is about IP addressing. In the internet, a host is identified by its IP address. In IPv4, each IP address consists of dash bits to identify a host, and the newer version named IPv6 consists of dash bits. So you know IPv bit, IPv, how much does it consist of? IPv4 consists of 32 bits, right? So option 1, let's see. It says A is 32, but B is 48. That is wrong. Which bits consist of 48? So which address? The MAC address. So that is wrong. A is 32, B is 128. This is correct. In the IPv6 address, IPv6 was Internet Protocol version 6 was developed to replace IPv4 and uses a 128-bit address scheme. So it provides a larger number of addresses. So again, option number 3, 48 is the MAC address, not IPv4. This is also wrong. This is also wrong. So answer is 2. Okay, correct. Good. Which of the following statements regarding DNS are correct? So domain name system is something which is important. They ask that often. So what does the DNS does? Let's see option A. It maps web addresses to IP addresses and vice versa. This is vice versa. Correct? No? Yes or no? Yes. The primary use, what does DNS does? It translates human readable domains like google.com into IP address, like an IP address, how it is, and can perform reverse lookup. So I thought, what does DNS does? It can directly look up, right? It does directly look up. So that is correct. HTTP uses the service provided by the DNS. That is wrong. While the browser uses DNS to find the server's IP address before establishing an HTTP connection, right? So the browser it uses DNS to what? To find the server's IP address. But HTTP is an application layer protocol for data transfer, and it does not use DNS services. Clear, no? DNS maintains a hierarchy of domain names. Yes, there is a structure, right? DNS is structured as a hierarchical distributed database starting from root level, top level domains, and then second levels and all, right? So the answer is A and C only. Clear, no? Now, which of the following statements regarding IP addresses are correct? So in class C network, the first octet value ranges from 192 to 223. Is that correct? In a class C IP address? A minute. Just give me a few seconds. I'll be back. Yeah, it is correct. No? Okay. So class A, it is 1 to 26. Class B is 128 to 191. And class C is 192 to 223. 127 is for the testing. Loopback testing. So then B. IPv4 can assign addresses to up to 4 million devices. No. An IPv4 address uses 32 bits. So 2 to the power 32, it equals to like 4.3 billion devices, not million. It can up to 4 million, but this question is a bit confusing now. When I was doing this option, okay, so it is roughly around 4.3 billion devices, not 4 million devices. Okay. And then this 192.168.00 200 is a private IP address range. So yes, this is an private IP address range. So for class C, the private range is exactly what they have given, right? Private IP address range for class C. So the answer is A and C only. Clear, no? So see, again they are asking about encryption. Here they are asking about asymmetric key encryption. Asymmetric, what do? You use different pairs of keys. A public key shared with everyone and a private key which is kept secret by the owner. So now what they are saying, Suresh wants to ensure that only Amara can read the message. So what does do? Suresh takes Amara's public key which is freely available and uses it to encrypt the message. Once encrypted with Amara's public key, as per the asymmetric encryption, only Amara's private key can unlock it. Because Amara is the only person who holds a private key and only she can read it. So let's see the option. Suresh should encrypt his message using his private key. Yes. Oh no, sorry. Of his private key. Sorry, public key. Not his public key, right? So Suresh should encrypt his message using his private key. No video encryption using public key. Suresh should encrypt his message using Amara's public key. That is correct. So fourth option, he should encrypt his message using private key. No. Is encrypt using both public. We use only one key for encryption and another key for decryption. So what does do? Suresh takes Amara's public key and uses it to encrypt the message. And only through Amara's private key we can decrypt it. Clear, no? Is that clear? Asymmetric. Okay, so then we have the 2024 past paper. Okay. No one needs a break, no? Again, they're asking about parity bits. So the parity bit is in a set of bits is adjusted after the set of bits is communicated. This is true or false? False, no. Because they are saying after that set of bits is communicated. No, no, I'm not tired. I'm not tired. I can go on for even 8 o'clock. If you guys need a break, maybe I can give at least 5 minutes. For me, no issues. I'm ready to go without break. You're right about me. Some would know. Finishing my target. Yes. So what is a parity bit? It is an error detection mechanism, right? I already explained those. So option 1, the parity bit they are saying in the option 1 is after. No, the parity bit is calculated and added before transmission, not after, right? So that's why that is wrong. And option 2, parity bit for the set of bit is selected to ensure the total number of ones bits in a set is either even or odd. So yes, that is what parity bit does, right? So it checks the number of ones. In an even parity, if the count is odd, the parity bit is set to 1 to make the total count even. Okay. Then option number 3, the transmission speed of a communication is increased. That is not. Parity bit adds extra data overhead, which slightly decreases the actual data transmission efficiency. It does not increase the speed. right? Parity bits are added after communication to correct errors. No. Why is this wrong? Because parity bits, they can only detect single bit errors. They cannot correct them, right? So next if you put detect, okay. Encryption needed in a data transmission is provided by parity bits. So parity bits, they do not provide data encryption or security. So that is also wrong. Okay, then we have something called the public switch telephone network line. So the word modem is a combination. What is done by a modem when it receives an analog signal? That is what they are asking. So the word modem is a combination of two terms, they would say, which is modulator and demodulator. So the MO of modulator and the DEM of demodulator, when you combine only you get the word modem. So what does it do? It bridges the gap between the digital devices like computer and analog transmission mediums like traditional telephone networks or cables. So what is modulation? It converts data signals, means digital signals. It converts the digital signals, zeros and ones from a computer into analog wave forms so that it can travel over telephone lines. So modulation is what? Converting digital signals into analog wave forms. Demodulation is when receiving data, it takes the incoming analog wave form and again it converts those back into digital signals. And why do we do that? Why do we convert it back into digital signals? So that the computer can read it. So the question is asking what the modem does when it receives an analog signal. So when a computer receives an analog signal, what is happening? It amplifies the signal? No. It compresses the signal for storage? No. What does it do then? I just explained the whole thing. Let's see if you can answer. So option 1, no. Option 2, no. When the computer receives an analog signal, it demodulates the signal back into digital form, right? Sorry, not the computer, I mean the modem, sorry. When the modem receives an analog signal, it demodulates the signal back into digital form for the computer to understand it. So option 4, it encrypts. No, it does not do encryption. It modulates the signal further for transmission. No, it demodulates. So the answer is option number 3. Was that clear about this modern part? Modulation, demodulation. Modulation is converting digital signals from a computer into analog waveforms. Demodulation is when you're receiving data, it turns the analog waveform into digital signal so that the computer can read it. Clear, no? Right, okay. Now next they are asking about a switch. What did I say? What does a switch do? It amplifies data signal for clear transmission. No, that is amplifier. It always broadcasts all incoming data to every device in the network. This is about what? About the hub. A hub only when it receives a packet of data, it duplicates and broadcasts to every single devices connected to its ports. Because of that only, it causes high network traffic and security risks. Option 2, they are speaking about hub, right? It compresses data for more efficient transmission. That is also wrong. Right? And it directs data only to a specific device for which the data is intended. That is what I thought earlier, right? Only to the specific device. That is what switch does, right? So it learns the MAC addresses of all the connected device, and when it receives data, it reads the, what does it read? It reads the destination address, and then only it forwards the packet, the data to only to the specific device. Clear, no? Okay, so only two more of the past papers. After that, we have the Mora papers. But okay, I hope that was clear about switch and hub and all. Now they are asking to find the usable host addresses of the given IP address block. Now, how do you find the host addresses? So we'll go like this. Now, an IPv4 address has 32 bits, and the CIDA notation they are given is how much? 27 bits. So 27 bits are used for what? For the network portion. So if 27 is the network portion, how much is the host bits? The total bits is 32. 32 minus the network bits is 5 bits, right? So 5 bits, so 32 minus 27, if you want, you can write this somewhere. 32 minus 27 is, sorry, okay, 27 is 5. 2 to the power 5 is, 2 to the power 5 is 32 total address. So that is the total number of addresses, okay, 32. 2 to the power 5. Now in any subnet, 32, sorry, you deduct 2 addresses. Why? One for the network address, which is known as the first address, one another for the broadcast address, which is known as the last address. And in the question they are asking usable. So to calculate the usable from the total address, we have to deduct 2. One is for network, one is for broadcast. So 32 minus 2, the answer is 30. Was that clear? So they are given the CIDA notation. From the total bits in IPv4, we have 32 bits. Now 32 minus 27, which is 27 is the network bits, you will get 5. 5 is known as the host bits. So 2 to the power 5, you will get the total number of address. 2 to the power 5 is 32 total address. In the question, they didn't ask the total, they asked in the usable. To calculate the usable, you have to deduct 2 addresses, one for the host and one for the network address, one for the broadcast address. Means the first and the last address. So 32 minus 2 is 30 usable address. Was that clear? All good now? The next one they are again asking about TCP. See how many times they are asked. Okay. Detection and correction of any errors in a communication. So TCP, yeah, it does check error detection and error correction. I said that it does retransmission, acknowledgements and all. So yes, receiver acknowledging to the sender about the receipt of a data packet. So TCP is connection oriented and uses acknowledgements to ensure reliable delivery. So that is also correct. C, ensuring data packets are received in order. What did I say? TCP uses sequence number to reassemble the packets into the correct order if they arrive out of sequence, right? So remember, it uses sequence numbers. Why? To reassemble the packets into the correct order in case they arrive out of the sequence. So yes, answer is all A, B and C. Good, right? Okay, so we have, yeah. Okay, so we have 15 more MCQs, and to see, I think I thought it would take like 3 hours. That we didn't. Okay, so 2023 Mora papers. So Mora papers, sometimes the questions might not be that good. Some questions I didn't take, I just skipped it. Because there were similar questions same to the past papers. Okay, so I just wanted to say one thing that from the next sessions, I won't be discussing the recent past papers much. I will be discussing some old past papers from 2011, select some good ones. Last 10 years from 2016 to 2025 papers I am doing in my past paper program, right? Will be this year Mora paper. You have any idea? Mora exam, I haven't got any news about that, but I think they will maybe by June, July. I can't remember last year when did I do, but I got the results like 3 weeks before the final exam. I think so. The Mora paper exam. They keep it for the physical science, I think, right? No, for the physics, bio, something. And also for ICT. So for commerce stream students, they only have ICT to do. For the physical science stream, something physical science, I think. Yeah, physical science, they would give the Z score ranking and all based on how they perform in all the three subjects, the main three subjects of theirs. For commerce stream, only they don't have for commerce stream, but they have only ICT. Since in physical science stream, there are students who does ICT also, something like that. No, I don't know much about that stream. Yeah. So I would say go and do that. That is better. But University of Japura do for commerce. Is that so? I didn't see. They conduct pilot exams? I didn't knew that. Do they conduct exams like the Mora University does? University of Mora? I haven't heard about that. I have only tried July start they will keep. Is that so? If so, let me know about that. I will share to the group if you get any posters, messages about it. Mora exam, yeah, okay. Yeah, I would say try the Mora paper. Last year Mora paper wasn't that much. I don't know why. For the sake of keeping the kept, I think. Because in that last year's Mora paper, so what I did from 2020 to 2024, I did and I went. In the 2025 Mora paper, they have included most from the past years actually, not new questions much. So yeah, the structure of that is a bit different. Just try out and do. I would say to attempt it, that is better. Yeah, last years I did. Just attempt it. I just went and did not much. You will get like an not real exam feel also. Mora, people are saying it's hard. For me, it was not hard. It was easy. I couldn't just do it well. Last year. Right. Why? How do I sound for you guys? Mora, I mean, just see the paper. For it depends on individual. For some it is hard. For some it is easy. It wasn't hard. It was easy actually. Like people were saying it is hard. If you're attempting it and if you're seeing the results, don't get demotivated. That is what they said. I was like, no problem. I'll just go and do it. I won't get demotivated. So if you're attempting, attempt, but by the results, don't get either someone weird or true or false. How do I sound for you guys? Do I sound like so what? These people are already demotivated. Okay, so Mora exam, I would say 4 years, you just go and attempt, then you will know at what level you are in. But don't get demotivated if the result doesn't turn out good. You can do better in the final exam, the final actual paper. So do it, but don't get demotivated. Why, man? How? Seriously, don't I sound? Do I sound old for you guys? Inshallah. Okay, good. Try it. Try it. Auntie vibes. What? How are you getting auntie vibes? Why? Because am I being rude for you guys? Don't be scared. It's just an exam, man. Don't. That is nothing to be scared. You do your best. Just do your best. Make sure you don't have that guilt and regret. I always say in every sessions, whatever it is, when you see the results, don't have that guilt or regret. And don't be scared. If you be scared, even I did this thing mistake. If you be scared, whatever you studied, even you won't remember. And then that's it. Fully or even if you go and attempt without being scared, at least you would have scored well. But if you get scared and go and do everything will be gone. There is still time. If you feel hope, there is just someone who is is that so savage? The age doesn't matter, no. You can think. I didn't say you try think me as a teacher. You can think me as a friend, no problem. As a senior also. Some would call me sis, some would call me miss. Three A's, yeah, triple A's on the way, inshallah, inshallah. You will get it. Let's see. I remember the names of those who join all my sessions, even free sessions. I can even name who is there from day one till now, all the free sessions. Let's see. 3S, island rank. Who knows? Maybe there is an island rank. If you stop joining, then you might be watching my recording now. Who knows? You want to join live session, no problem, but you might be watching my recording. Okay. Enough. Anything else to ask? If I conduct night, I think everyone will be joining. So Tuesdays, I know all are having classes, but I should also see my free time now. 5 minutes break. You all need a 5 minutes break. 15 MCQs for 15 MCQs. The Mora paper, even I all are same and similar questions we did. Only difference they have tested are often parity bit. Did you guys notice too much theory questions? No much on this one, subnetting. So in the MCQs, we have a lot of theory questions only, right? That's why I keep on saying focus on theory also. Don't only go and study the practicals. In frame, come just 5 minutes. Yeah, prayer break. Yes, sure, sure. I was it. Okay, then 6:56. You call me auntie vibes now, let's be strict. 5 minutes, only 5 minutes then. Go. Don't leave the meeting. At least be on time, okay? 15 MCQs, you need 10-minute breaks. Very nice. But how would, okay, if I say 5 minutes, obviously you will come back in 10 minutes. So that's why I'm saying 5 minutes. I know about you guys well. If I say 10 minutes, you take 15 minutes. Too much. 15 minutes is too much. Take a 5 minute break. Be back. By 6:49. Sorry, 59. 6:59. I want you all to be back. Once you're back, drop a message, raise your hands. Okay, be back at 7:05 at least, man. For this small MCQs, you need a break. I drop a message, wait. Is there anyone who's not taking a break? Just listening silently. Rushta, are you there? Rushta. of cleaning until that if there's anyone any doubts you can ask until that. So break over at 7:05. No, class not over. It will be break. A break is going on. So we finished the past paper discussions. We are about to start the Mora paper discussions. 15 more MCQs left. They needed a break. So that's why I'm waiting. I went a bit fast this session. Target was finished within 2 hours. I knew, okay, since instead of break, if I had done the discussions, would have finished it within 2 hours. We'll cover up with the recording. I'm sorry. We are good. Sure. Drop me a message and get it. Came, I'm punctual. Okay. Yeah, your camera also was on. Punctual. No? Very nice punctuality. With camera also on. And punctual. When I dropped a message in the group to be back by 7:05. Yes, it was seriously. I'm not lying. I stopped it. I just not this earlier. Ceiling was fan or something was visible. No, no, I didn't see your face. I don't know if others saw. I was able to see only the fan. Right, guys? The camera was on. No, I'm not joking, by the way. Okay. Okay, okay. At least your face was not visible. Don't have, yes, I am not lying, man. Was there anyone who saw someone's camera on video on? Okay, okay. Your face was not visible, so don't worry. Okay, calm down. Nothing is there and that it happens. Even it happened to me once. Luckily, it was 1 second. Okay, okay. Next time I won't say that then. Your camera was on. No, no. I mean, it was on for like just before you said punctual, like before that, 1 minute before that. It was on for like not even 1 minute, few seconds. Then I only off it. I thought maybe you accidentally clicked on it, that's why I off it. I can stop the video now. Yes. Just a while before you texted, it was on. If I didn't off it, I didn't notice. I saw that it was showing me that camera is on, so then I stopped it. It's okay. No one saw your face. No, it won't be recorded because I didn't screen. Only the screen will be recorded, right? Oh my god, the face was not visible. Why are you panicking? It was not recorded. It was not recorded. Don't worry about that. If you want, I'll send the record and just check. There's nothing to be, thinking of that. Because your face was not visible, first of all. It even happened to me once. 1 second only, my face was on. I didn't even have a shawl on me. Only, I think it was for 1 second it got on, and then luckily no one saw, I think. Is there anyone joining through Zoom? I didn't even check. Okay, one thing, it wasn't recorded, so don't worry. Okay, 1 minute for break to over. Anything else? I didn't even see your face. Then how will I see your dress? I said no, only the ceiling, the fan was visible. Something only the fan was visible for me. Okay, okay. Leave it. Your face was not visible. Your dress, nothing was visible. Only that fan. Only a fan was visible. That's it. Oh my god. Don't punishment for that. Why shouldn't I have said? Yes, I saw that. Okay, I'll send the recording. You see, it wasn't recorded. Okay, because the screen is only being visible now. Yeah, that's what I was able to see. I don't know, man. I'll send the recording. You see, I maybe I didn't see properly. No one, everyone was on a break. Why are you panicking? Even girls wouldn't panic this much. Okay, sorry for laughing. Okay, nothing is there. Enough, no, enough, enough, enough. Okay, are others sorry, back from the break? All back, raise your hands. What if my video turned on? Yeah, I would definitely panic if my video was turned on. Obviously, I'm not wearing my shawl obviously when I'm a girl. I would definitely panic. But I'm saying no, your face was not visible. If I was wearing my shawl, my head, then if my camera turned on, no problem. One day I will be doing physical classes with people. Oh yes, for your classes, there are many students asking me to conduct physical seminars. I am thinking about that now. Let's do it. No, I'll make it only for girls. Boys don't listen, no. It's why. Jokes, okay. I was joking now. Don't get for that also. Being honest, yeah, I am honest. Okay, okay. I was joking. Seriously, man, I'm scared to joke with your batch. Okay. So, physical seminars, I said I will do. I'm checking on that, and institute and all, I have to check. No. So, yeah, that's why a bit delay. Hey, man, you guys are getting. Oh. Okay, I'm not going to joke with you, your batch here after. I don't know what's up with you guys. My batch is very serious. Studying, not coming on classes on time. But if I joke anything, okay, just that seminar thing. Okay, who is still joining? Right. Let's not waste time. We can finish off at 7:30. 15 MCQs needed a break. Okay, we'll speak more at the end. Right, let's finish off these MCQs. Whatever you want to ask about me, and then at the end, enough. Okay, so the 2023 Mora paper. Designing computers and computer network is referred to as computer topology. Consider following statements. So they are giving some characteristics and they are asking, yeah, why have you raised your hand? What is it? So they are given characteristics of some topology and they are saying which one is it. Okay. One host is connected with one or two more hosts. What is this? Bus, no. Star, ring, no. Then mesh topology, right? All hosts are connected with each other in this topology. That is also mesh. Only some hosts are connected to themselves. Okay. So in bus topology, the hosts are connected to a single central cable, not directly to each other. So that's why bus topology won't come. Star topology, all hosts connected to a central hub or a switch, not directly to every other host, right? Ring topology, every host connects to what? Exactly two of its neighbor forming a circle. So the answer is mesh topology. And in mesh topology, you know there are two types of mesh topology. It is a full and a partial mesh. In a full mesh, every host is connected to every other host, right? That's what they said. And in a partial mesh, some hosts are connected to all others, while some are only connected to those they exchange the most data with, right? And tree topology, a hierarchical structure where nodes are connected in a parent-child relationship, right? So yeah, so that was that. And then sender, receiver, and medium are the basic requirements for data communication. Which answer set only contains free space medium? What is free space medium? Wireless communication. What do we call it as? Unguided media. So see how they are asking. They didn't ask it directly as unguided, right? Twisted pair cable, coaxial cable, fiber optics cable. Are these unguided? No, these all are guided, right? Radio waves, microwaves, infrared rays, satellite waves. So yes, all of these are wireless means unguided media or a free space medium. Shielded, twisted pair, coaxial, these are also wired, right? And then radio waves, so infrared waves, microwaves, and coaxial. So this is a mix of both unguided and guided media. Last one also, it's mix of both. So they asked only free space medium. The answer is second one. Okay, right? Now an address block is assigned to an organization which contains again 8 bits. So C, similar to the past paper. A computer in a subnet is configured to with the IP address this and which of the following IP address cannot be assigned to a computer in the same subnet? So to create now the original network is this, right? To create 8 subnets, we need to borrow bits from the host portion. Now, how many bits do we borrow? 8 means 2 to the power 3. 2 to the power 3 equals to 8, right? So, we need to borrow how many bits? 3 bits. So, the new subnet mask would be, the CID notation would be 24 plus 3, which would be what? 27, right? Then subnet mask, how would it be? 255.255.255.224. So the subnet block size would be, now how did I say earlier? Same question, different way they are tested. 32 minus 27, you would get it as 5. 2 to the power 5 is 32 address. 30. So in per subnet, you will be allocating 32 addresses. So subnet 1, it would be 0 to 23. Let me just raise this. So when you allocate all 8 subnets, okay. Subnet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's do last subnet 7. It will be, the range would fall under 192 to 223. I was saying the answer 5. Which? Yeah, the answer is correct way. So within subnet 6, So which range have they given? Over here. 6, no? Subnet number 662, 191. So this range they are given, it falls in the subnet 6. And within subnet 6, you cannot assign the network address cannot be assigned to a computer. The usable range would be 161 to 190. Broadcast address would be 191. So that also cannot be assigned to a computer. Now they ask you which of the following IP address cannot be assigned to a computer in the same network. Answer is option number 5, right? It's not the answer, I marked it to explain. Why? Because they are saying which cannot be assigned to a computer in the same subnet, as it belongs to an entirely different subnet. So that is not the address range they are given. IP addresses of subnet 6. All others falls under it except option number 5. Clear, no? Any easy methods to find the answer. Yeah, I know this is a hard way. I was just going to the logic, but the thing is, it would take a long time. If I explain that now, you will get confused. So, next class, I said no, I will be doing a session on subnetting. On that, I'll explain. Okay. This is more on the theory. Don't get confused. Just now, simply when you're doing the subnetting part, when you're doing the subnetting, now each range you get 32, no? When you do subnetting, subnet 1, subnet 2, like that. In subnet 6, the range you get is 160 to 191. Now see all these options. 169 is it is subnet 6, 160 subnet 6, 190 subnet 6, 180 subnet 6. But 192 it is the subnet of, then it is the next subnet, or it's a different subnet. So it starts the next block. Clear? So that one you cannot assign it to a computer. It is the network address of the next subnet, no, like that. Okay, so if you're getting confused also, don't worry, in the next session we'll clear it out. Now again they are testing protocols. These are internet control message protocols. Let's go with the functions first. A protocol for sending email to the mail server, which is it? What protocol sends email to the mail server? The simple mail transfer protocol, a protocol for sending email to the mail server. Okay, so that is this. And then standard protocol used for email retrieval from remote computer. That is the post office protocol. It matches with, sorry. Have you studied these protocols or still confused? Wait. What have you sent? Why are you asking me if I want something? Are you going to send it? Why did I sound low? Is my energy low? I can even make and drink it. No need to send it. No, you guys are so. Oh my god. Asking tea. Okay, Samras drop me a message and get it. Sure. Isaac. No, my voice, it is a bit dry. Okay. No, I'm not sick. It's just dry throat, man. That's why I feel a bit low. Okay, bye, Samras. So, okay. Now, the Internet Control Message Protocol, I'm going from A, the protocol side. It is used by the network devices like routers to generate error message when a destination is unreachable. So, what does it match it? Protocol which reports the unexpected errors. Right? And then file transfer protocol, it allows sharing of files. So now it explain that no. It is designed for what? Uploading and downloading files between a client and a server. So then I said simple mail transfer protocol is the standard protocol used to send emails from a client to a server. And then POP, which is post office protocol, is especially POP3, you would say it is a protocol that downloads emails from a remote mail server onto a local client, right? And then you have SNMP, which is Simple Network Managed Protocol. It collects data and monitors the performance of network devices like routers, switches, and servers. So that matches with what? Monitoring and managing devices on IP network. And when you match it, the option would be option number 3. I don't understand why the students are leaving, joining. Some are they messaging WhatsApp, not joining the class, asking other questions. Now TCP. Consider the following statement. So TCP, is it connection oriented? What did I say? Yes, it is. Is it faster data transmission? No, because TCP checks for errors, tracks packets, and manages connections. So it is actually slower than UDP, which just transmit data. Why? Because UDP just transmit data without verification. So no, reliable data delivery, yes, I already explained. Lower overhead, no, due to its features like acknowledgement, connection tracking, and all. TCP has a much higher data overhead than UDP. So the answer is A and C only. Okay. Now, which of the following statement about asymmetric digital subscriber line? So there is something called ADSL and DSL. This enables faster data transmission over existing copper wire telephone lines at higher bandwidth. What do you think? Yes or no? It is true. ADSL is faster, okay, because it utilizes standard copper telephone wires but operates at much higher frequency to achieve greater bandwidth and faster speeds, okay. And then ADSL provides simultaneous analog information and data over a single telephone line. That is also true because it allows simultaneous telephone calls and internet use. It uses it usually provides internet connection data at high upload speed and low download speed. It is true. Asymmetric means the speeds are uneven, providing high download speed and low upload speed. So remember, the upload speed is low, but the download speed is high. In this, they have said the opposite. This is faster compared to a traditional dial-up connection and and a cost-efficient method. Not zero. Yes, it is true. It is higher speed, right, than the traditional dial-up service. So answer is B, A, B, D. Yeah. Clear, na? And then in amplitude modulation, which parameter of the carrier wave is varied according to the information signal. So an amplitude modulation is about what the height, the strength of the frequency, right? Of the frequency carrier wave. It is altered in direct proportion to the audio or data being sent. Audio data being signal sent. Okay. Frequency modulation, the frequency changes while the amplitude stays constant. Frequency means timing of the waves. Whereas phase modulation, what happens? The phase starting point of the wavelength shifts to encode the data. So it's not frequency, it is not phase, wavelength. So amplitude means what? The strength of the high frequency carrier wave. It is varied in proportion to the information or modulating signal, while its frequency and phase remains constant. Simple. In that, the carrier wave is varied. You want me to explain that? If so, let me know. Now, next they are asking about proxy server. It is considered as an intermediate server between client and the internet. Yes, it is correct. It acts as a gateway between a local network client and the internet. It can be used for internet connection sharing. Yes, it allows multiple devices on a local to share a single internet connection. It is fast. It fastens the service by process of retrieving content from the cache which was saved when previous request was made by the client. Yes. Process of retrieving. So yes, it caches frequently accessed web pages to speed up request and save bandwidth. It's also about proxy server. It allows to hide, conceal, make internet use anonymous. You know that is about proxy server. Answer is all. So what does it do? It masks the client's real IP address, enhancing the privacy. Clear, no? All good. Right. So again, they are testing about parity bit, right? The dash is a simple error detection technique. What is the error detection technique? The parity bit method. So the answer option 3 and 5 suiting, others are out. Then used in data communication, okay. It adds an extra bit known as the dash to the group of bits to ensure that the total number of 1 is either odd or even. Now the extra bit, what is that extra bit known as? The parity bit. So still option number 3 and 5 is there. The parity bit in dash, the parity bit is set to 1 if the data is odd, making the total number of ones even. So simply by that, I'm not reading it fully, you can read it. The parity bit is set to 1 if the number of ones the data is, so if the number of ones in data is odd, they are making it even by adding 1. That is known as even parity bit. By this itself, you get the option number 3. Okay. So in dash, the parity bit is set to 1 if the number of ones is even, that is odd parity bit. The parity bit allows the detection of single bit errors during data transmission, but it cannot correct errors or detect multiple bit errors. Right? Clear, no? Easy, no? Now, annotation. What is annotation? What did I say? Annotation. Sorry, attenuation. Attenuation, what is it? Loss of signal over a distance. So that is correct. So these are types of impairments. Okay. Delay distortion is different frequency components of a signal travel at different speeds through guided media, causing them to arrive at slightly different times and distort the signal. So it's a delay of individual signal components caused by the media, because of the media. So that is also correct. Noise is, it is unwanted energy from source other than the transmitter. So it is an unwanted electrical signal or energy that interferes with the transmitted signal. So answer is all. Okay. Then we have again the ADSL and DSL. So yeah. This enables faster data transmission. Again, a similar question. See, yes, it is through provides simultaneous stuff. Okay, provides simultaneous analog voice information and data over a signal telephone line. It uses frequency division multiplexing. Okay, I hope you noticed that. To allow simultaneous voice means analog and data transmission. This is also same question they have repeated, no? Usually provides internet connection data at high speed. Okay, both it's the same, no? Completely same. So I didn't notice when I was doing it. The answer is A, B, and D only. I think they are repeated. So see, in Mora papers they do repeat. So the upload speed is low, download speed is low upload speed and high download speed. That's how it should be, right? Okay. Okay, so the next, the dash is routing packets by discovering the best path. Now, which one does this? In which layer does the routing of the packets and determine the best path? What did I say? Remember? Let's see if you remember. Network, correct. So by that, option number 1 eliminated, option number 4, 5 eliminated. So we have option number 2 and 3. Network layer. Second one, the dash is composed of two parts such as logical link and MAC access control layer. So which layer has two sublayers? The data link layer. So we got the answer. So it's option number 3, right? And the dash is responsible for reassembling. So which one reassembles the segments? That is in transport layer. It is responsible for it is responsible for segmenting data and reassembling those segments at the receiving end. And then the dash defines how do devices encode, encrypt, and compress. That is easy. That is the presentation layer. So this layer defines how devices encode, encrypt, and compress data. So answer is option number 2. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so this is again about UDP TCP. Data can be retransmitted if packets do not reach their destination. Is that so? In UDP, can you retransmit data if it gets lost? You cannot. It does not have it. That only TCP has that. Connection is not required. Yes, it is connectionless. And then complete error checking. Error checking happens in TCP, so that is also wrong. Slower but has complete data delivery. This is incorrect. It does not guarantee the data reaches its destination. Sorry, I mean that is a C1 I'm saying. So slower but has complete data delivery. So even though it is UDP is faster than TCP, but it lacks the overhead of error connection and connection management. It is faster. UDP is usually faster. Lower overhead. It is correct because why it lacks complete connection, because TCP only does the complete correction, error recovery features, and also that's why in UDP it has lower overhead than TCP. So the answer is B and D only. Got it now? So remember, it is connectionless, fast, and that it's not reliable, and no retransmission occurs. And then we have about again unguided. Simply, I'm not going to explain it. Infrared, fiber optic. No, fiber optic is guided. Flexible is guided. The answer is option number 4. Right? Okay, now so again we have over here, so earlier we had +1 encryption, over here we have +3 encryption. So if you want to send the word secure, you're using +3 encryption, right? What should happen? 3 after after S, what is the alphabet you have? If you have 3. Yeah, answer is 1, correct. So 3, S plus 3 means V, E is H, F, X, then U, H. So yes, just do it and you will get the answer. I'm going to explain that now. Okay, we are at the end. I didn't notice that. So they asked me about computer malware. A computer worm enters a user's computer without their knowledge and no. This is incorrect. Why? Even though, a worm, what does it do? It self-replicates and spreads across networks. But they are not saying the characteristics of a worm, right? So that is wrong. A Trojan horse appears useful to the user before it is installed, but steals useful information. That is true. What did I say? It appears useful, right? As a trustworthy person, it appears and then steals the sensitive information like credit card details and all. So a malware that replicates in that replicates itself and spread from one computer to another using a computer network without user interference. This is correct. And what are they speaking about? The computer worm, right? So malware does it, right? So the answer is B and C only. Wait. Sorry. The answer is what? A only. Why? See? Common mistake. They asked which of the following is incorrect, not correct. So which is incorrect? Only A, right? Okay, sorry. So that's it. We have discussed all 45 and it took, I think, around 2.5 hours. If we exclude that break, we would have done it in 2 hours, right? Isn't it? Yes or no? So next session will be on subnetting, hopefully. Even if I won't do subnetting, yeah, I'll inform it in the group. Okay, I'll inform. I'll just think when to conduct it and do. So how was it? How was the session?